In this tutorial I show you how you can bundle different properties in a style. Take for instance these buttons. At the moment these are just standard default Android buttons. If you take a look at this emulator, you see how these buttons should look like. As you can see, we have to define a different background color, tweak the placement of the label so that it shows in the bottom right corner, and align the width with the width of this element. The padding doesn't seem right as well. But since all other items are also supposed to get some padding, we come to that later. For width and background, we've already created some resources in colors and dimensions. So I could go ahead, open the navbar, and tweak the settings of these elements. For example, adding a background here and the width, and all that 3 times. 3 times identical values. But as you probably know from CSS, this goes far simpler with styles. So let's create a values file that's sort of correspondent to a style sheet. I click on this icon of the Android XML wizard, choose values, and create a file called styles.xml. Click on finish. And there it is. To add a style for my button, I click on add, select style, theme, click OK, and give it the name of panel button. The field parent is quite interesting. Here I can tell this style to inherit from another style, which means that I only tweak those attributes which need to be overridden and keep everything else as it is. In this case, I'll say that everything else should remain as a standard Android button. In this case, I'll enter Android, widget.button. The prefix of Android : tells me that this is a style which is within the Android package. I'll save with Ctrl S or Command S on Mac. And now I'll add items to this style. Click on Add, Item. OK. The name is the name of the style which I want to tweak. In this case, it's Android : background. And as its value, I'll specify a reference to resource, @color/orange. I save the file. And now I'll need the same for layout width, layout height, padding, and gravity. Because it takes a little time to click and enter the values, it might be a little simpler to open the XML view, place the cursor in this line, and press Ctrl-Alt on PC or Command-Alt on Mac, and press the down key 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can simply edit this one here. Layout_width, layout_height, padding, and gravity. Here enter reference to dimen, width normal. For height, I enter dimen/height normal. For padding, set this to 0. 0 px, 0 pixels. And gravity, bottom, pipe symbol, right. You can't forget about this squiggly line. That's simply a spell checker. Let's have a look at the navbar. Nothing has happened yet, because I'll have to assign the style to this button. I click on the button, look for the attribute style. There it is. Click on the ellipsis button, find the style, panel button, and assign it by clicking OK. There we go. But why is this so flat? Because in this file we've overridden the height value. Remember that every view is obliged to define layout width and layout height. In this case, both are defined by the style, and thus I can delete them here. That looks more like it, doesn't it? Let's do it again for this one. Find Style. Select the Style Panel button. OK. Scrap the value for layout height and layout width. And the same for the Star Lock button as well. Scrap the value for layout width and layout height. and define the style. There we go. Style panel button. Okay. Now these buttons look right, but they're glued together. If you look at the final layout, you see that all elements of this panel are separated by each other by some space. So let's define that as a margin. So I'll define a separate style for all those elements, which I call panel element. Click on Styles, Resources, Add. I now want to create a new element, a new style. Click on this radio button, Style Theme. OK, the name is Panel Element. Now Parent. Add. Item is OK. Android colon layout underscore margin. The value is 2 density independent pixels. So let's go to the navbar, this item, apply the style. There we go. Style panel element. Now it has a margin. Save, go to main. This one gets the style as well. Style panel element, click OK. That one gets that style as well. Style panel element, OK. And there's another one within the title area. I double click on title area.xml. Click on this one. This also gets the style. There we go. Style panel element. OK. Save main XML as well. But what about the buttons? Since the buttons have their own style, we simply have to define the value in their style as well. So I copy this line up to the panel button style, save, and now we're almost done. This looks a little strange because we have defined the same width for the linear layout as well. So let's change the width of the linear layout from width normal to wrap content. We change the width of this view from wrap content to @dimen / width normal. And if we take a look at main.xml, we see that this still looks a little awkward. And as you might recall, the include of this navbar also has a specified width. And we set this to wrap content as well. Now we're getting somewhere. And you've seen how to define styles in Android. Save the file, and now we're done.